Oh,
So it'll be here, okay?
go for it.
All right.
My name is Chisulu. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Chisulu.
Um, those are the two most defining things about me. Other people will call me other things. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm an employee. I'm all this other stuff. But my name is Chisulu, and I'm an alcoholic. Are the most important things to me. You all are the most important people in my life right now, this very moment, this very second. Um, I've never been in a room where I could say either one of those things about me with complete confidence. But in this room, you didn't care who I was. You didn't care what my name was. All you said is you'll be heard, you'll be seen, you'll be loved. Never had that. And that's probably the reason I started drinking. My relationship with alcohol finished the same way it started. I was about 13, 14 years old, and I ran into a buddy of mine. I hadn't seen him in a while. He invites me over to his house. We sit down, and there's another friend there. And he had another friend with him, a bottle of Smirnoff vodka. And there was a bottle of Coke. Me not knowing what to do, I did the immediate thing. I lied. I said, I've done this before. I mixed a half a bottle of the vodka, a half a glass full of vodka, and a half a glass full of Coke. Drank that. Had a good old time for about 15 minutes. And then I went home because I was scared. And the thing that happened when I got home was the thing that kept on happening to me. I got home and I proceeded to throw up everywhere in the house. Only I was home and my brother at the time. My brother's 18 months older than me. My brother knew my dad was coming home pretty quickly, so he cleaned up the entire house for me. I was in my room, passed out, sleep. Woke up in the morning, nothing happened. So I lied, I had a good time, and then it got covered up by somebody else. That's what happened. Time after time after time. The stories are the same. I drank, I lied, somebody covered up. Or in reverse. I'll cover up where I'm going, I'll lie about where I'm going, and I'll have a good time. Over and over and over and over. And I got to a space where I couldn't lie or I couldn't cover up anymore because it had become so apparent. And so my wife, Dr. Bob says our wives and our spouses are amazing human beings because they stick through us through all of this. And it was glaring to her that something in me had been wrong for a very long time. But now she could see it up front and center. She packed my stuff, put it outside the door. I'm coming home from picking up some alcohol. I got it in my car, and she says, do whatever you want to do, but you can't do it here. We don't care anymore. I've got a 4.5-year-old daughter. The two of them were inside the house. I was outside. So I did what I did again. I lied. And I said, I'll fix this. Try to cover it up. I won't drink anymore. And I still had a good time. She let me in the house, but that wasn't without consequence. I had to go in and get help. It was her boundary. If I didn't do that, I was done. So I used the biggest resentment to get into that place. I said, I'll show you. I'm better than this. I'm better than you, and I'm better than everybody else. See, because I have intellectual superiority complex. I think I'm the smartest person in the room at every given time. Hell, I can build a 31-story tower. I can, it's fact. But I can't beat alcohol. I can't. And that was baffling to me. So I said, I'm gonna go try this thing out. And in 8 weeks, when I'm done, I'm back here. And I want all my privileges back. I don't want to be questioned when I'm doing something because I did what you asked me to do and I came out on the other side. That was my attitude going in. But see, our mutual powerlessness against alcohol is the ultimate equalizer. Because it doesn't matter who I am when I come in here. In here, my name is Chisulu and I'm an alcoholic. That's it. And I get so much gratitude every time somebody says that. They say their name and they say what their drug of choice was. Because it reminds me that staying a beginner is where my wisdom lies. Because I am you, you are me, we are all built. The person with 24 hours can be me because it was me. The person with 35 years can be me because I am him, he is me, and we're all built. So I go into this program, and in there I begin to read because I have nothing else to do. And my mind is racing. We were getting drug tested every week, at least twice or three times a week. And I'll be damned if I got popped. My resentment, I can't let that happen. I'm better than this, I'm better than them, I'm better than everybody. And I read this book, it's called More About Alcoholism. And when I'm reading this book, it clicked to me that I'm reading about myself. The words don't lie. When you're reading the words don't lie. And I said, okay, let's see what there is to this thing. Because I'm still better than it. I'm still smarter, stronger, faster. I'm still better. And we get to reading Bill's story. The first time I read it, I didn't catch these words. The second time I read it with Jim. Nothing could tell of that feeling. So on page 8, boom, he asked me to write address number 1 in the column and asked me if I've ever been to that place. And something happened because nobody could have ever described outside of that paragraph how I felt. The quicksand was everywhere. At that point, I had lost my job. My marriage was in the shitter. My whole life, everywhere I turned, there was nothing left. Everywhere, there was nothing left. And that's when I started to think, maybe, just maybe, there's something else out there. I need to put aside everything I think I know, and I need to shut up. I need to open my eyes, and I need to open my heart. And so we started working. And the crazy thing about how I started working is my resentment and my desire to always be the best didn't go away. So I was still going to multiple meetings. I was still doing all of the things that I believed a model AA student should do. Because if I do the things that are prescribed to me, the chances I'll be perfect at it are higher, right? And somewhere, something happened. It was right after doing my 4th step with Jim. So we do my 4th step, and a lot of emotion came out on my pages. None so much more than my resentment for the church and my resentment for God. This was number 1. It was the first one I wrote down. And all this stuff that to an alcoholic mind, shoot, maybe even to a normal mind, it's completely justified about how I was feeling. Maybe. And I remember going to do my 5th step. And Jim invites me to a church to do it, a Catholic church. And I'm driving up to this Catholic church in North Seattle. And I'm like, oh my God, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. And I pull up in this church, and it smells the same, it feels the same, it looks the same. Nothing has changed except for me. I've been gone. And we do my 5th step, and I don't think I've had a powerful, more meaningful experience with another human being. And the work after that made me realize that the chase for perfection, the chase for the ultimate high, was my alcoholic brain telling me it wasn't ready to let me go. And I was missing out on the miracle. See, the miracle is what's happening right here. The miracle happens every single day. The miracle happens every single day when I wake up and I tell myself repeatedly, you got a problem, dude. You got a serious problem. You woke up this morning and you're sick. But the good news for you is the things you can do, and there are people you can see, and there are resources that you have. So what are you going to do with those? What are you going to do? It's you, it's your bed, and it's the rest of the world. Because I stopped drinking doesn't mean liquor stores closed down, or they stopped selling alcohol, or my friends who drink are still not there. All of those things still exist to this day. But what has changed in my life is my perspective. My perspective is based on the code. Code is love and tolerance for all. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you come from, what you are. My code towards you has to be love and tolerance. Always. It's the hardest thing to do, but it's the right thing to do. I know that now. I'm sure glad I know that, because with that, I can find gratitude in absolutely everything. Because my mutual powerlessness against alcohol with all of you guys is the ultimate equalizer. Equalizes everything. Doesn't matter what I have. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter what I don't have. Because every low needs to be met with the same response as every high. And that response is grounded in my higher power. If I don't pray about the things that are bringing me down, they'll keep me down. If I don't pray about the things that take me up, they'll keep me up. I neither want to be in either place. I want to be where my higher power wants me to be, and that's with him. It's at that equal line where nobody else matters aside from my relationship with my higher power. I'm very grateful for that today, because I wake up without a reason too bad nor too good to drink. When I couldn't go an hour without that, I couldn't go 15 minutes without that, I couldn't go a minute without obsessing about how I was going to get my next drink, where I was going to hide it, which store I was going to go to, because I'd been to that one already that day, and what my loop was going to look like around Kirkland, Washington, where I live. To the point where cashiers at individual stores knew exactly what I wanted. He's here. 2 White Claws, 2 Smirnoff airplane shots. If you've been to a Safeway, you know that the airplane shots of Smirnoff are behind the customer service desk. So somebody has to go and get them for you. It got to a point where they had them ready for me at the self-checkout store, or the self-checkout list. We know what he wants. And my pattern of behavior was so normal in my mind. It was so normal in my mind. There was absolutely nothing wrong with what I was doing. Nothing whatsoever. And you couldn't tell me otherwise. You couldn't convince me otherwise. And for a while, there wasn't even a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous that could do the same. Because recovery is on God's time. And only his. You could do everything you want to do perfectly, but God's time, and he will continue to show you more. That's the beauty of the book. The book, we keep writing the book, because the end of the book is people's stories. So when you come in these meetings and you hear people speak, that's an extension of the book. That's another chapter. So we're hearing about the experience, the strength, the hope from everybody. And it's fascinating how your life changes. Today I'm in, 2 minutes is perfect. Today I'm in a perfect space of gratitude, because something happened to me today, actually the last 2 days, that I think is absolutely miraculous. I have a fear. I have a fear of asking for help. The fear of asking somebody else, I need help, can you help me out? I know I have that fear because it's prevalent to me, and I started feeling funny about a month ago. I'm currently training to be on a board, a nonprofit board. Part of that training is you have to go out and you have to fundraise. I'm afraid of fundraising. I'm afraid to ask somebody, hey, I need help with this. But I share gratitude with men in this program every morning. On Wednesday or Thursday morning, I shared a gratitude with the fellas. I said, you know what? This has been eating at me for almost a month. It's something I have to do, and I'm scared to do it, so I'm just going to surrender, and I'm saying it out loud so you guys can hear me. Within 1 hour, my donation goal was met. The donation goal was $200. Now, pain and suffering are relative. I'm only saying these dollar amounts so that you can see the impact of what the program did for me in real time. This happened on Thursday. Today, the donation is up to $945. Every dollar that was donated to me came from people in the program, accompanied with a message, something along the lines of, we'll help you with your fear today. That is a miracle in any stretch of the imagination, because it reaffirms to me, I don't have to fight anything or anyone. I don't. I've ceased fighting anything or anyone. I can live. I can live. Finally, I can live. Finally, I can breathe. And there's more to come, because we know very little. God will continue to reveal to you and our fellows as you trudge along the journey. It keeps coming every single day. So I'm in awe of everybody who is here, everybody who is fighting for themselves, everybody who's fighting for their health, is fighting for their wealth, fighting for their families. It is unbelievable what people do when they come in these rooms. The courage is unmatched. I was one that needed to be dragged, came in with a huge resentment, putting two middle fingers up to my wife. Unknowingly, she's saving my life. Because my life wasn't worth anything to me. Absolutely nothing. And it transcended into everybody else around me. Their lives were absolutely nothing to me. They meant nothing. And my actions proved that. I know it, I accept it, I internalize it. But the best apology is change behavior. So what I do today in these 24 hours that are a miracle that I even can see, because it's not granted for everybody that the sun will rise tomorrow and it will set. It's not guaranteed for anybody. We're on God's time. I don't even think it's borrowed. It's not even borrowed time. It's his time. Or her. Of which we are tasked. What are you going to do with the 24 hours I've given you today? It's up to you. The world is your oyster. I choose sobriety. I choose all of you. I choose to be in the solution, not in my problem anymore. And I'm so grateful for that problem because I wouldn't be standing here today. That's all I got. My name is Chisulu and I'm an alcoholic.